All right, so welcome to episode 11 of the Kickback with Jack podcast. Today I am joined by Ivan the Terrible Heenan before his pro debut next weekend. How you feeling, mate? And welcome to the
Oh,
show.
thank you. It's finally nice to be able to kick back with you after all this time, Jack.
Mate, we've
Uh,
kicked back many a times.
Many a times, just not in a while. You're all the way in Freedom Land.
I know,
It's
it's been a long time.
it's been a while. No, it's been good. It's probably been one of the hardest camps I've had. Just sheerly from just trying to like work and improve and yeah, I've tried to take it as seriously as I can. So it's I've been having a time.
Yeah. And how would you sort of compare a pro camp to an amateur camp? Like, how many amateur fights have you had at this point? You've had quite a few.
I've had six fights as an amateur, and I've done like a whole bunch of like exhibitions in between, and on top of like 80 something grappling matches and like a dozen or so karate fights. So I've somewhat experienced a lot of things, but as far as the difference between the two camps goes, it's like it's been a lot more like preparing for smaller gloves, preparing for like no headgear, and just if you get tapped with like headgear in 12s, it's kind of like it's fine, but like the second that headgear comes off and you're in 10s, like if you get a good one, you might be in trouble.
So you sort of like, have you found yourself working on defense a little bit more?
Yeah, I've actually been learning how to box properly. It's been crazy.
What are you talking about? You love defensive boxing.
Yeah, no, you mean how I just walk forward and see what happens? Yeah, there'll be less of that, hopefully, but.
No, that's good. And what do you know about your opponent?
I watched him fight Sam in October, November.
Mm-hmm.
That like it just he's a shorter guy. He likes to come forward in bursts, so I've been preparing for that. I think this will probably be the first time I've got like a height advantage on an opponent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just been preparing for stuff like that, and it's been very interesting.
And, you know, the fact that he's already fought your coach before, does that give you sort of an advantage going into a fight with him?
As far as like what to prepare for, like big time, like but that'd be like the exact same thing if it was like, maybe there's like three of the fighters in your gym have fought somebody, you might be able to get the advice from them. But it is good to have like the person that is teaching you to be able to directly be like, no, this is what I did to this guy and it worked.
Yeah, exactly. And you're used to, as you said, being the shorter guy, like, or the amount of rounds we've done together is, hundreds. And you have that really just walk forward, break people with pressure without giving too much away with the game plan. I don't know if Cambodians will listen to my podcast, but can't imagine they will. But have you had to change your strategy at all, being the taller guy?
Oh, big time. Like, I feel like this is the first time where it's sort of been like one of the main focuses has sort of been like working on that fight IQ. And not just trying to like go out there and like try and out tough this guy and just box properly. Because I think it's like one thing I struggle with the amateurs is I might be like winning the fight, but if it's not coming across clean and it's not coming across to judges like I'm actually doing something, then I'm losing fights on just being a bit too scrappy. So I think it's just been a lot of it's just been like cleaning it up and and hope and fingers crossed it won't go to the judges, but we'll see.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, right? Because amateur boxing, they favour clean punches above all else. And they kind of just don't let you brawl. Like, I know when you and I both fought Dean, same guy, like you were in there, you were brawling, and then they just stopped it. And you're like, oh, I'm fine. Like, he's a big dude, but
I remember, I think one of the 8 counts that she called was like, I parried a shot down and then she called it 8 count. I remember I looked over, I think it was like Sam. I was like, oh no, I'm not even lubed up and I'm getting fucked.
Yeah, mate, that guy hit hard though.
Oh yeah, he would have beat the shit out of me still, but like...
Oh, he beat the shit out of me. I'll never forget that fight because I remember being backstage and he was warming up with his coach. My coach just was not there. And I was like, oh, shit. And I look over at the size of him, and he's just massive. Yeah. Like, he was as tall as me. He was twice as wide. And then he was getting all, like, vassoed up. and I didn't have any Vaseline. The fight starts, comes in overhand, just splits my eyebrow. The very first punch he throws. Yeah, he was a tough unit, that bloke.
Yeah, I remember, I think I was watching the live stream from that. I was playing a festival in the middle of nowhere.
He was?
No, like I was. Like, I was the same day that you were fighting.
Yeah. Look, not my finest performance. And then like 2 weeks later, I go on Instagram and there's just like a, what's that, like the boxing book?
Yeah.
They've just put a highlight of me just getting fucked up on there. I'm like, oh, for God's sake.
It's like, dude, dogged.
It's so dogged. But yeah, well, you mentioned before that you've had, your boxing fights and obviously your jiu-jitsu fights as well. How are you still doing jiu-jitsu at the moment?
Yeah.
Mate,
yeah.
You're an animal.
I'm still, I literally, I run before I do some training before I go to work. I go to work. I pretty much run home, put my shorts on. I go to Dwyer's for like usually an hour or two, wipe myself off, then hop in the car, drive straight to Ascend, and then do 2 or 3 hours of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, far out. And are you finding it like difficult to? I guess you've always kind of been like that though, right? Like, are you finding it difficult?
I mean, I think there's sort of I sort of get like, man, I don't really know how to describe it. I think I worry about overtraining more than I worry about like not doing enough.
So what you say, like you're worrying that you're not doing enough, or you're worrying that you're doing
too much.
Yeah,
doing too much, and then it's like how much like taxing it is on my body because I've gotten a whoop and stuff like that, and sort of like seeing all the like muscle recovery and stuff like that, and like the second like it's like weird because like you want to back off to be able to let your body recover, but at the same time it's like you want to like I just fucking love training.
Yeah.
So it's
what do you think that is? Like, is there any, like, what do you think it is in you that makes you want to train so much? Because I think I'm pretty much the same, but like, why do you feel the need to train so much?
I honestly could not tell you.
Yeah.
I think it's just out of just love of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I absolutely just love the grind of it.
Mm. And do you like seeing the results in terms of getting wins, or do you like the skill acquisition or the fitness acquisition? Like, what do you enjoy most?
I mean, having big wins and stuff like that, it is like, like who doesn't like preparing for a massive fight and then like winning, or preparing for a comp and then just like absolutely dominating.
Yeah.
But I think it's like mainly like the skill acquisition and the journey, which I think means like a lot more to me. Like at the end of the day, that's probably what I look at more than like the bit of tin I won at a random comp.
Yeah, that's true. And you've been doing it for a long time, like with your karate. Talk to me a little bit about how you got started in combat sports.
So I got started. I started doing Kyokushin when I was 17. I started I was big pro wrestling fan as a teenager, and then that got me sort of into watching stuff like Pancrase and Rings, and like these guys are doing it for real. And then I was like started watching MMA, desperately wanted to do that. And being in Macambia at the time, there wasn't like the grappling club hadn't started yet. There wasn't any Muay Thai, and I started with Kyokushin karate because I'm like, well, I'll probably move to the city in a year or two, and I'll just do that until I move. And I never moved.
Yeah. And for the people that don't know, like, what is Kyokushin? How do I even say it?
Kyokushin.
Kyokushin. Like,
karate.
What is Kyokushin karate?
It is like it's one of the few like pure like full contact styles of karate, because I feel like there's like I think when people think of like karate, they think of just semi-contact stuff, and like there is like a lot of McDojos out there. Like karate is like 80% McDojos.
Yeah. And what do you like? Why do you think that is?
Because anyone can put on a gi and make money, I guess. Like, and a lot of it is, I think there was like the whole like ninja craze thing, and like old martial arts movies that just popped up here, there, and everywhere, and everyone, the whole like ninja thing just took off. So there's just a lot of charlatans out there making money teaching people self-defense. It doesn't work.
It makes you think though, right? Because like karate was so big in the 80s, and then as you said, all these McDojos just popped up, and now like BJJ is really big. Like, do you think the same thing's going to happen in BJJ? Like, do you feel like it's going to get watered down?
I did. I would almost think that, but I think there's like a concerted effort by people in jiu-jitsu to make sure the McDojos don't like happen. Because like anytime like a gym gets labeled with like McDojo, like they're just like pretty much just like black. I don't want to say banned, but like they get called out very very quickly, and especially with like a lot of jiu-jitsu gyms, like a lot of people cross train, so it's easy to sort of weed them out. Whereas like in that old school karate style, like if you went from like gym to gym, like you would be in like massive trouble. Like
you're a crasher.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. You're a pure traitor.
Yeah. No, that's true. You're only going to gyms to dojo storm them.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Well, talk to me a bit about BJJ because you've been doing it for a while now.
2.5, 3 years, something like that.
Yeah, wow. So how do you sort of compare that to boxing? Like, is there one that you prefer over the other, or?
It's sort of hard. It's like the best way I can sort of explain it's like comparing a video game to compare it to like playing chess.
Okay.
It's like they're games, but they're two very separate things. It's where boxing, there's there's essentially 4 buttons, and you're just sitting there just like mashing them until something works.
Yeah.
But with like with jits, like you really need to like plan out what you're going to do and have more of an idea. So it ticks my brain in a different way.
No, that's true. Yeah, so I sort of feel the same, to be honest. And you did a combat jits match as well.
Yeah, I did
just insane.
Yeah, I did. I put my hand up for that, not thinking I was going to get nominated. I was like, yeah, I'll put my hand up for it. And the gentleman I fought is the number 1 ranked Fadi Maruki, who I think they asked 8 or 9 people, like quite a few people. Everyone just said no. And Mateo, he rang me before he could get the words combat jiu-jitsu match. I was like, yep, I'll do it. And yeah.
And how was it? How was the?
He beat the fuck out of me. It was no, I was happy to get the opportunity. Didn't realize my wrestling was that bad.
I don't know if your wrestling was bad or if his wrestling was really, really good. Like I remember seeing him at the weigh-in and being like, "Oh my god, look at the size of this fucking unit."
I remember because he weighed in earlier on in the day, and like I walked in. I was about 75 kilos, and when I weighed in, I had my phone and stuff in my pocket when I did my actual weigh-in. So I weighed in with all my clothes on, like 77.1 or whatever it was. And then like when we did like the ceremonial weigh-in, I looked down at the scales, and he's already back at 85. I'm like, oh, fuck. And I remember even just like when we were talking, I was like, I squeezed his arm, and there was just no giving the muscle. I was like, damn, like what the fuck?
Yeah, that's hectic.
But
even when you guys were facing off, he just looked so intense.
Yeah, I did get a heads up. He was like a lot of those the AAT guys. They like I did get a heads up. He was going to hit my face a bit, but the thing is that sort of undercut like the sort of intimidation thing for him was like me, him, and my mum were talking for like 20 minutes beforehand.
Yeah,
and like we were hanging out before the fight, and we hung out after the fight. He's a lovely dude. Shout out to Fadi, man. He's fighting. He's back at Fusion on the 20th. Yeah,
I saw that, and he's been having some MMA fights as well, hasn't
he? He's so talented. Yeah, he just won. I think it was a majority decision over in Hex.
Yeah, I mean the thing is, right? Like some people just need to get intense when they have those face-offs.
Yeah, like I'm just I'm just not one of those guys. Like I think I am who I am. I even when I'm like fighting, I don't necessarily feel it necessary to like get super tense. I'm just it's all about performance for me. Yeah. And when I'm in those situations, like. I think I'm pretty sure I'm smiling the whole way through when we're doing our face off.
Well, here's the thing, right? Like if you don't enjoy it and if you're not having fun, like what's the point?
Yeah. But like for me, like, being like a big nerd, like that was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. There's very few people that get to like have a face off and get in the cage like that.
Yeah, and that like at least I can sort of like at the end of the day I can tick off that I hopped in the cage. I don't want that to be my only time in the cage.
Yeah, well, that was going to be my next question to you. Like, is that something that you're going to look to do again in the future?
Yeah, big time. Combat jiu-jitsu is definitely something I want to do, and I really want to have a crack at MMA.
Yeah, well, I was going to say that's the natural progression, right? You got boxing, you got karate, you got jits, you got wrestling. Like, it's time to put it all together, right?
That's it. And like every time I've done MMA sparring, it's just like it's just felt right. Like it's every time, like everything just like it just kind of like flows. Like I'm probably doing 100 things wrong, but like it just feels right. And also like I do like that if someone's like beat me up on the feet, I can just take them down. Or if someone's like beat me up on the ground, I can just stand back up.
I mean, you could try it in your boxing match, if it comes to it.
Oh yeah,
probably won't go well, but you can give it a crack.
Mate, a win's a win.
Mate, you're on your home show. You can pretty much do what you want. I'll be commentating, so I'll just be like, it was in the rules.
That's it.
Yeah, well, when you do MMA, what do you tend to fall back on? Like, what would your style be? Because you're sort of a bit of a mix of everything.
I think that's just kind of like it's sort of hard to sort of like say because I've only like I've done like sparring. I haven't done like a lot of like the more like competitive rounds. It's just sort of been like I catch them where I can. Like being in Mount Gambier, it is anytime I do get to like run in and get some MMA rounds, but a lot of it mainly is boxing, like and just throwing 100 calf kicks.
Mate, exactly the same for me. Yeah, boxing and calf kicks is what I fall back to.
That's it. Until like I'm like, they beat me up now, and then they can go on the ground.
Let's wrestle.
Yeah, that's it. And like it I do love doing it because like even like when I get like kicked and kneed and stuff, it's just kind of getting hit with a bucket of cold water.
Just shocks the system.
Oh, big time. Yeah, there's a fella I've sparred with quite a few times. Antonio Cesare, he's a double champ at DFC.
Yeah, right. What
and like Trinity.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, and like I don't like because he's a bantamweight and a featherweight, and like I'll take like body shots from like heavyweights and super heavyweights in boxing. This guy knees me, and I want to curl up in the corner and cry. You
know what's so funny? I've never met this guy, but this is the second time in 3 weeks that I've heard him brought up on this podcast.
Yeah, because he fought in the same card as John.
Yeah, and John was saying that he wants to fight him next because John was the former featherweight champ of Diamond.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah, and then he got injured, then he was off, and now he won his last fight, so he reckons he wants him in the next fight. So I reckon that'd be pretty exciting.
Yeah, that'll be a great fight.
Absolute banger of a fight. Yeah. So in terms of you were saying you like live in the country. So have you been traveling a lot to spar?
Yeah. Especially this camp, I've never traveled so much. Like it is like every weekend I'm either in Adelaide. Like I'll finish work on Friday, I'll train for 2 hours and I'll hop in the car and then drive to either Adelaide or Melbourne typically. But even like when I'm not in camp, I typically try and like there's like a lot of gyms that I try and visit like once a month.
And what gyms do you like?
As far as like boxing goes, Royals and TJ's. They're two places I've definitely
shout out to
visit.
TJ's.
Yeah, shout out to TJ's. They're every time I go there, they make me feel as if I'm at home. So lovely guys. And then like Lions Den over in Melbourne for boxing. Visited AET. Yeah. Big. They've just opened up a new gym and it's unreal amount of talent goes through there. And then, like, I'll visit AET when I can. I've only been in there a few times, but, like, I'd like to get in there a bit more.
Yeah. Yeah, they're decent out of there as well.
Yeah. And then, like, for jits, I typically try and visit MATLAB and M16 about once a month as well. And, yeah, that's what I love about with, like, jits and boxing is, like, there's, like, most gyms are pretty happy to have you.
Yeah, well, it kind of seems like, even from just this conversation here, like, you realise just how small the fight world is.
Yeah.
Everyone knows everyone. You're like, I like training at TJ's. So that was where I started boxing. And then you mentioned a fella who, knows who John wants to fight. Like, everyone sort of knows everyone, which I think makes it really cool.
Yeah, no, it's... That's like one thing where it's like I feel like the BJJ scene, especially in Adelaide, because of the amount of cross training that goes on, like I feel like the jits is a lot better there than necessarily in Melbourne. But that being said, like every comp I've done in Melbourne, like the wrestling has been on point.
Yeah. Well, they've got so many MMA gyms up there.
Yeah, and I think that's probably why there's like a more of an emphasis on MMA.
Yeah, I've noticed that since I moved to Queensland, actually. There's a lot of wrestling up here because we've got like Compton's and CMBT, and a lot of those big MMA gyms are in like Brisbane and Goldie.
Yeah.
So at those comps, the wrestling's pretty good, which is fun though because I like wrestling.
Yeah, I attempt it. Like, it works sometimes.
I remember before I'd started jiu-jitsu, and I think you must have been training for maybe a year at that point, and we were doing a little wrestle, and you just hit me with the cleanest drop Nagi, and I was like, all right, I got to learn how to do this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I remember that. Yeah.
I think we were about 15 beers deep, and we were wrestling. Oh yeah, we were wrestling in the gym, and you just boom.
That's when peak wrestling comes out. 15 beers deep.
Yeah, exactly right. If you can't wrestle drunk, you can't wrestle at all.
That's it. Yeah.
You mentioned like the Adelaide jiu-jitsu scene. And you know it's taken off at the moment. Talk to me about that.
Oh, big time. Like, especially like there's a lot of really good comps like popping through at the moment. Like GI comes through still pretty regularly. There's a new comp there, AGL, which I personally think has some of the best. It's one of the best rule sets for jiu-jitsu. So it's like 2 4-minute rounds where there's no points, and you get a catch for submission, like a significant submission attempted, and then if you still even score by the end of it, you go to like a golden minute where it's regular rules.
Yeah,
like it sounds confusing, but when you do it, like it just works so well.
I spoke to Luis Flores, and he competed on that.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he reckons it's just the best as well.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I think like that. I think just because it was like a new rule set, like a lot of people got stressed out by it. Because that's just what people do when they're fighting. They just stress out over the smallest details. That, I mean, like when it comes to stuff like that, it does matter, but like it does work. I think there was just like a lot of anxiety around it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
But
sorry, go on.
Yeah, so no, that was a great comp because I remember I was talking to Lewis and I got matched up with Lockie Mendoza as well. He chipped my tooth.
What was it? A flying triangle?
No, it was a guillotine. I was going to take him down, and I went to like. I don't know what I picked him up, and I think I was just going to put him down. He like got this like guillotine on me, and I'm like, I'm okay. And then I just feel this like, I'm like, okay, I'm good. And then I just start like trying pushing my way out of it, and then I just feel this like, and I'm like, okay, I think that's my jaw. I think that's fine. And then I just remember, I think I popped out into side control, and I just remember feeling something loose in my mouth guard. I was like, fuck. As long as it's not one of the big ones, it's fine.
Just stick it back in.
No, I spat it out in between rounds. I was like, I even said to him in between rounds, I'm like, you got my tooth, you son of a bitch.
He's probably wearing it on a necklace. Right
yeah, probably.
He's got like a shark tooth necklace on.
Yeah, open tooth necklace.
Taking necks and teeth. And so who do you reckon from Adelaide is sort of a standout competitor at the moment? Like maybe one that's already established and one that you reckon that you've seen coming up that you're like, this person's pretty elite.
Ooh, that's a good question. Off the top of my head, Connor Nelson. He's
the buggies.
The buggy man himself. He's one of those guys I just see improving like every comp, like astronomically. It's just going to be me being nice to blue belts, but like Laith Kiali, he's another guy I've had like many matches with. Great dude. All those MATLAB guys just they're very intelligent about what they do. That's why I like to cross train there when I can. He's just one of those guys that just always constantly developing. They're like the two that like right off the top of my head.
Yeah, well,
and of course,
gone.
And then like of course like shout out to the boys down here like Matt Pittman. He's like another one of those guys. He just destroys my body every in every way not sexually possible.
Yeah, no, Matt's a weapon. Even when I was up there, he's a purple belt now, is he?
Yeah, he's a purple belt now.
Yeah, he was a very good blue belt when I was up there.
Yeah, he's still doing quite well. He's considering like he pretty much trains with like a couple of blue belts and some white belts. Like it's It's very impressive to me how like his skill continues to improve.
And how is the gym up there? Like I know it's a small gym, but you got some pretty good guys out there. Hey.
Yeah, it's like we're a pretty tight knit group. There's about 6 to like 10 of us, like regular. Like our coach Andy, he's a super switched on guy. Like it's everywhere. It's just a good group where everyone tries to push each other. And we have a few like white belts starting to come through now that are really good. We're starting to become a bit of a guerrilla gym now, which is it's always fun. Like I think like half the white belts we have, I think there's only one that's under like 9,500 kilos.
So you're the run of the group.
Oh yeah, big yeah. I've become the lightest guy once again.
And what are you fighting at? I forgot to ask you.
This fight was gonna be at 72.5. It's now gonna be at 75.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
That's pretty crazy because we were in the same weight class, both at 80.
Yeah, and then we both moved to 75.
And then I got really fat. Now I'm 91.
Yeah, no, I every time I've tried to compete at 80 and 85, it's just kind of been like I'm just not strong enough, not tall enough.
But yet the funny thing about that, what I noticed is because I competed at 84 when I was coming off boxing, and they are way more skilled than 91 kilo guys are.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like that lighter man skill is an issue. Like, the weight that you fall in, that mid-70s sort of to, like, 84. I mean, probably lower, like, sort of the lightweights as well. That's just, everyone's, like, strong and fast. Whereas you get to 91 and it's like, they're good. Like, there are a lot of good guys in it, obviously. But some of them they're just strong. There's, like, no technique. They just try to muscle you sort of thing.
Yeah. And that's just big boy jits.
Yeah, 100%. Get side control. Try to Kimura them.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I suppose that goes for like heavyweight, like boxing or just heavyweight fighting in general. It's just big dudes who can throw hands.
Oh, I'll never forget being backstage. This is when I was at 75 and I was backstage and I was talking to one of the heavyweights. It's one of the last fights I had in Adelaide. And this guy was big. He must have been 120 and I was 75, like rail thin. And he goes to me, oh, you're so lucky you're at these lighter weights, at these heavy weights. You make one mistake and you get knocked out. And he goes, but it's not going to happen to me. But, it can happen. He was before me. He goes out there. They square up. First punch, flattens him. Like, just completely out on his back. And I was like, oh, Jesus. No. This poor guy. He was fighting this massive unit. Like, this guy was solid, but, like, not super tall. But the other guy would have been 6'6", and he just flattened him. I was like, fuck that. Man.
Yeah, and that's all it takes.
Yeah, that's the problem. You can't even. Yeah, you're just the lucky shot will put you away.
That's it. That's why you always just like, especially like the UFC in the top 10 heavyweight rankings. Like, there's going to be 9 of the best fighters in the world and one guy that walked out of the pub.
Yeah, literally tied to.
Like tied to a Vasa, like Mark Hunt. Yeah.
Just big, strong Islander lads.
That's it.
So, but you cut down, like when you first started boxing, how heavy were you when you started?
When I first started boxing, I was pretty unhealthy. Like, I was probably walking around about 105, 110.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, wow. And now you're down to 75.
Yeah, I'm fighting down at 75, and then eventually I'll move to 70. And then potentially, like, I may have to move down to featherweight if I decide to do MMA, just because of how much just people cut weight and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I'd probably look to go 84, but maybe even welterweight,
Yeah, like a lot of guys your size are welterweights, and it's like you don't think it when you watch especially when you're watching UFC and stuff like that, and you see like the guys like they will be a welterweight, they'll still like your Robbie Laws and that, they'll be like 5'10", 5'11", and then you're like Yeah, especially say like amateurs now, you're like, fuck, these guys are huge. Yeah,
well, we've got a lad up here, he's in the UFC now, Tom Nolan, in Queensland. He just fought the other day, and he's a lightweight, and he's 6'3".
Jesus.
Like, it's insane. Just
how?
Yeah. And how? He's still strong, still powerful, and you're just like, God damn it. Like, imagine being another lightweight, and you're just like 5'9", and you got to fight this guy.
Fuck that.
Absolutely insane. No, it's good. And I'm commentating on the fights next weekend, and I know last time you fought on this card.
Yeah, I fought
and then commentated.
I fought and then about that. Yeah, that was crazy because I was like, I think were you the original commentator for that card?
Yeah, I was meant to be, but then I couldn't get down because of scheduling issues.
Yeah, and that happens, and then like I was like, I think I just must have been in the vicinity of Sam. Like, yeah, I'll do it. And I remember I did this fight. I don't want to speak ill of my opponent, but I thought I won.
Yeah.
I thought it was a very clear, like, that first round, it was his, but I definitely won 2 and 3. I don't think there was a lot of people
I also
who
thought
disagree.
you won for the record.
Thank you. No, and then, like, I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, not having a temper tantrum, but I'm just like, mad. Yeah. I'm like having, like, a semi, like, I wouldn't say a full temper tantrum. I was having a huff.
Oh yeah, that's all right.
Yeah, and then I was having a huff, and I got over it, and then I put a suit on, and then I went and sat ringside. I commentated the pro card.
Yeah, I need to get a suit actually. I didn't even think about that.
That
reminded me.
Yeah, no, that's all good. Well, I was either going to do like a Hawaiian shirt because I knew the other guy would be wearing a suit, but I'm like, no, like I got to look professional.
You got to look sharp. And have you got any tips for me? That was my next question.
Yeah, don't fight and then try and commentate a card because it's really hard to try and commentate when you've got a concussion.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'll try not to get into a fight before I get into the commentary booth.
That's it. And that was a fun one too because I did a lot more of the play-by-play that I thought I was going to be doing. I think a lot of it, I'm like, I'll just be here for a bit of colour and I'll get to just have a couple of little smart aleck comments here and there. This will be fun. And then, like, no, I did, like, probably, like, 80% of the talking.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know boxing, so probably makes it easier to talk.
Yeah. But no, because, like, when I initially did it, all I could think of, when I said yes to it, was, like, there's, like, a wrestling bit where, like, The Rock, he, like, beats up somebody, he puts a headset on and then starts, like, talking. It's like, I was like, yeah, it's pretty much just going to be me the weekend. This is going to be awesome. How
good. And I imagine you'd be looking forward to getting out of amateurs purely because of the decisions that occur in amateurs. I come up a few times, and I know me personally. I think the last time I fought on that Mount Gambier card, I got like the amateur show that was there. I remember getting robbed by the judges and just being like, "What the hell is this?"
Yeah. I'll be glad to get away from it. There's probably a good chance I'll go back and have like another couple in the amateurs. It's sort of like sort of how like got things planned. Like I sort of decided like I'm not going to plan anything post this fight. I'm just going to like put all my attention purely on this and then work from there. So like there's a chance I might go back to the amateurs for like 1 or 2, but we'll see.
How does it work? Like, can you turn pro and then go back to amateurs?
Yeah, you have to wait 1 month.
1 month?
Yeah, 30 days. Then you can go back.
Oh, that's easy. You probably wait a month anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Like Fred Zoar, like fighting out of Adelaide. Like I think he just went back to the amateurs after going 6 or 7-0 in the pros.
Yeah, I would not want to fight that guy in the amateurs or the pros.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to fight him in general.
No, he scares me.
Yeah, lovely guy.
Yeah, lovely guy.
Scares the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I remember sparring him, and I probably got about 50 kilos on him, and he was hitting me like a heavyweight. That's a scary individual.
I cornered one of his opponents in Adelaide. I was fighting I did like an exhibition. I did like an exhibition bout with Jaden Hunter. Shout out to Jaden. And I remember it was like a couple of the Thai guys that just kind of like, they walked up and they gave me a towel and was like, "Oh, you're in the corner." I was like, "Oh, okay." So maybe Sam, I think like, and then Sam come and asked me like a second later. I'm like, "Yeah, okay, I think I got the gist."
What, were you the cut man? Or?
I was ice bag boy.
Oh yeah, bucket boy.
I was bucket boy.
Yeah.
And that was like for Fred's opponent, and I just remember like just everything you just see Fred throw. It was just like fucking hell, and then just like I think it must have been like a check hook or something, just like something that normally isn't hard, but yeah, just knock the guy dead with it. Yeah. And then it's like when you're in those like moments, like when you're like back. Like not like directly next to the ring. It's like, oh shit. And it's like when you're like oh shit, oh fuck, I have to do stuff.
Yeah, quick, get the bucket.
Yeah, get the bucket.
Get the ice to put on his head.
Yeah, because I remember like Sam was yelling at me from the side of the ring. He's like, Ivan, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh shit!
You were just watching
Like,
a
oh
fan.
yeah, I was just like, oh,
He's gone.
he's gone. Yeah,
Look out.
look out. Yeah.
That's gold. So apart from yourself, who are you looking forward to seeing on the card?
Ooh, the pro debut of Duck. Straight away, Donald Jones, someone we've sparred against multiple times.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I think he's had like 7 or 8 Vic titles.
Well, he's got about 90 amateur fights, doesn't he? Like, it's something absurd, right?
Yeah, no, it is. I think I think it's still in the 80s.
80s or yeah. Just an obscene amount of amateur fights.
Absurdly good.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever sparred him without like hopping out of the ring and just being like, oh, cool, the room's spinning.
Yeah, 100%. I remember just watching him and Sam's rounds, and it's just the most blood you've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it is. Like I did an exo with him in Warrnambool, and I just remember like every time I'd throw a hard shot, I'd look over and you just see like just a smile, and you're like, ah, shit.
You're about to eat 5 more.
Oh yeah, like that was a funny one too, because my lovely fiance was she was in the corner wiping up the blood in between, and it was like she was like just like gently like dabbing the blood. I'm like, just wipe it, it's all good. It's gonna keep coming. Yeah. Don't give me like little like. It's like no, just get, like,
at this rate, she'll never be the bucket man.
Yeah, that's it.
Takes a certain skill to hold the bucket.
She's just stuck being the love of my life. You know?
Oh yeah, how sweet. So after your fight, what are you looking forward to doing most after this big tough camp?
Well, like if it's I had a if going off just what I've been dreaming about, then beers. Like I literally had a dream like a week ago where we were doing the weigh-ins, but you weren't allowed to weigh in unless you were drinking a VB.
Yeah.
So I think subconscious is like beers, but I'm gonna probably put my name down for the first jits comp that I can find. Yeah. Even if it's in the middle of nowhere and it's a 2-man bracket, I'll probably still do it.
Well, Queensland's lovely this time of year. If you want to come up and...
definitely do need to visit. I've especially for like one of the GIs, because I've started refereeing at a few of the GI events. So I've been meaning to like call up there for a comp, so that'll be good.
Yeah, how's refereeing GI comps?
Oh, it's been, like learning all the ref stuff's been like super interesting. You don't realize how much you don't know the rules until you start doing it, because there's like, and I don't have that like that sounds, because it's just kind of like you need to be like really on top of everything, because like the craziest shit will happen, and then you'll be like, oh god, what do I do? And then you'll like because I refed it that one, and then I've like refed it like AGL as well, where it's just like a super interpretive rule set. Like where there's like just a lot of like little in betweens, and you're like, there's like a lot of stuff you got to keep in mind.
So you have the book and you're scrolling through, you're like, oh, white belts can't heel hook people.
Yeah.
Sorry, my mistake.
So I thought you guys were cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's
but like,
good.
yeah, and then it's because like stuff like that, like the obvious stuff, which is like easy to jump on, but then there's like other like different little like bits which you don't really think about. And you're like, oh shit, I do like really need to be on top of that.
To be fair, though, GI is a way better one to... Not that I've ref, but I'm saying GI would be way better to ref than AFBJJ.
Yes, especially with GI, like the staff they have there is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Like, Shout out to Ben, shout out to Nick.
Yeah, they do an amazing job, those guys.